So every season we try to have a meeting to go over some, whatever changes we had in the off season, whatnot. So that's kind of what this is. Looks like we only have one new person in here, so maybe we'll get a few more that pop in. Um, so what I will ask is that anybody who has any questions, we'll open it up for questions at the end. There's a chat that says meeting questions. All you got to do is just post a hand or whatever, and we'll call on you. We'll go down the line to ask any questions at the end. With that being said, we'll kick off this. It's a short slideshow, just kind of going over some stuff, and then we'll proceed from there. All right, this is what we're gonna go over today. Just who your admins are, rulebook stuff, so on and so forth. Kind of just a summary of what's going on, what has changed, what is new this season. All right, so that's your admin team. Most of us are in here already. We've got myself and Barkley Cup and kind of run the league. Matt Bournes, Davey Hendricks run Xfinity, for those of you who don't know. Sean and Zach are trucks. Steven and Bobby are ARCA. We have 4 dedicated appeals admins, which we'll kind of go over the appeals process later. And then we have an IT and Discord moderator. So if you have any IT issues, go ahead and hit up Josh Vangor. He's very good, very savvy with that tech type stuff. All right, so rule book. We did go through and clean up some stuff this off season. We updated some things, added some things. The thing to remember is our rule book is constantly evolving. It's a living document. We're not going to be able to put everything in our rule book. So as it comes the end of the season, we start adding things we feel need to be added, taking things out, changing things up. For those of you who have been here a while, you've probably seen some of this stuff. The big updates for this season, we restructured the Xfinity Cup playoffs. Xfinity Cup season champion bonus points are a little more this season. We updated the stages for Cup and Xfinity from top 7 to top 10. ARCA and Truck, the only thing that really changed was we made sure to put in the bonus point for the win, which was missing in our rule book. Big rule changes. Really only rule changes we had was we had an issue last season where drivers were helping out other drivers who ran out of fuel. We see that you're going to get a penalty. Team owner numbers, before it was team owners owned the numbers. Well, we don't want to tie up a whole bunch of numbers and not have team owners, fill those numbers. So basically, if the team owner doesn't have a driver to put in that car the next season, then that number will go back into the pool of available numbers. That really pretty much only applies to Xfinity and Cup, but it may apply a little bit for ARCA and Truck. We raised our iRating cap. We added some restart launch rules just to prevent some things from happening that we did see last season. And this is kind of an odd one, but we feel it makes it a little easier on everybody. Is we put it on race control's discretion for road course stage cautions for Cup and Xfinity, where they can throw the caution as the leader crosses the start finish line or anywhere after, and that is to prevent a whole bunch of cars having to rush to catch the field. It just kind of makes sense as we have pretty large skill gaps in road course racing. Not major rule changes, just a little bit. So check out the rule book. Everything that has been changed is still in red lettering. So make sure you take a look at that. All right, ticket process. Really, like I said, we don't have many new people in here, but essentially a ticket can be opened for anything really. It could be for something in the Discord. Hey, I want to start a team. Hey, whatever. But for Racing related things, remember there is a 12-hour cooldown period, gives everybody time to collect their thoughts. Um, in the past, we used to have people add a replay file so we could review everything. We have since changed that so it is no longer needed. Appeals, if you have a ticket opened and you don't feel that you got the correct outcome, you can request an appeal. Anybody who is penalized can also request an appeal. That's where our appeal dedicated admins come in. They are neutral. They do not discuss with uh, the the person who denied the ticket, approved the ticket, issued the penalty. It's kind of a separate thing to give the drivers a neutral second opinion. So that's more of just to keep things fair across the board. Sponsorship. So we've got new sponsors this season for ARCA. Your sponsor is Prismian Group. They are a cable manufacturer. Truck sponsor is Asylum Click. They are a Call of Duty team, gaming team. Xfinity sponsor is Connor Darnell Designs. He does a lot of things. You can check him out. And Cup sponsor is North South Racing. Some of our own drivers wanted to sponsor a series. So why do we have sponsors? As those of you who have been here for a while know that we have never once charged anybody anything to race in this league, and we want to continue that way. All of our income is generated through sponsorship, through money races, whatnot. We use that to pay for the broadcast and cover other expenses, awards at the end of the year, that type of stuff. So this is how we do it, and it all really relies on you guys, right? The more interaction we get from you guys on social media and in the broadcasts, well, it makes us more appealing to other potential sponsors. So without sponsorship, we have to start charging people, or we have to not broadcast any of the races. So with that being said, if you're able, check us out on our social media, like, follow, all that stuff. Any of you who have seen our social media you would know that we are very active with social media. We post a lot of stuff. So just get in there, like, follow, all that stuff. It helps bring potentially better sponsorship, which allows us to give more to the league, more resources to the league. We also do money races. If you're wanting to partake in that, it's a 50-50 thing. 50% goes to the first, second, and third. The other 50% goes to the league. If I know some of y'all have probably been a part of league where money was kind of a thing that wasn't talked about. We are completely transparent in everything. Every penny we spend, every penny we take in is documented and is available for any admin to see at any point, and they are willing to show anybody who questions anything. Most of our finances are done through PayPal. Our PayPal will always match our treasury spreadsheet. That is just, we believe in transparency here. So sponsorship, make sure you thank your sponsors if you get interviewed during your broadcasts, whatnot. It helps us and allows us to continue to not charge any fees for racing. All right. So on top of that, we also have race sponsorship. Race sponsorship is for anybody. You can sponsor a race. You can title it something. You can do something fun. You can do something that's close to your heart that you want to that you want to shout out during our broadcasts. We also tag them all in social media. And it's $5 a race. I believe almost all of Cup is sponsored. Xfinity has a few openings. Truck is all sponsored. And ARCA is pretty well open. So if that's something you want to partake in, by all means, go ahead and do so. What's included with that? For $5, you get naming rights to the race. If you have an advertisement, it can be broadcasted during the race, interviews so you can talk about your sponsors, and then social media tags. So anybody who wants to tag somebody or sponsor something in somebody's name, like we did one, Bobby, what was it? The one we did with Renee last season, Extra Life.
Uh, Extra
Extra
Life.
Life.
Yep. Thank you.
So we did a couple races last season that were sponsored by Extra Life. They're I guess kind of like the Ronald McDonald House type thing. So
Yes.
we tag them in social media, all of that stuff, so they get a little bit of exposure. And for the fee, it's I feel like it's pretty worth it. It's $5. How to do it? DM me with what you want. Send $5 to the league. If you have the advertisement or something to go to on the broadcast, send that as well. And basically just provide me with all of the information. It's pretty straightforward. I do all the hard work, get everything set in place for you, and we go from there. So it's something fun we can do that we do with the league, and it gives you guys, if you have real life sponsors and you want to shout them out, it's a cheap way to do so. All right, banners. We talked about sponsorship and how we pay for everything within the league. Well, that's why we are mandatory with the banners, right? That's one of the agreements we have with our sponsors, is that their logo will be on every car, and we do that through a banner. Banners are easy to put on. There's multiple ways of doing it. We have videos, we have walkthroughs. You can check out the banner channels in your respective series, and it will kind of show you how to do all that stuff. If you don't have the banner on, we give you a 10-point penalty per race. If you're a new driver coming in mid-season, we give you 2 races to have the banner on before we start giving a penalty. Just because you're new, you're coming in, you're gathering information, whatnot. So just do yourself a favor, make sure the banner's on, and everything will be good. Playoff banners, we do something different with the playoff banners, make them a different color to stand out for the playoff drivers. All playoff drivers will be required to apply the new playoff banner. And for Xfinity and Cup, because we have eliminations in the different rounds of the playoffs, you will also be required to take that banner off if you are eliminated and go back to the previous one. Social media, we talked about it before, right? That's how we get our sponsorship, how we appeal to those potential sponsors. Sponsors aren't just going to give us money because they feel like it, right? They want something in return. And that's how we give them something in return. So we post a lot, like I said before, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can see in our Discord League links channel, all of the links to our different social media accounts can be found in there. So, well, like I said before, we rely on you guys as drivers to keep building our reach with our social media, so we get more valuable sponsors to come on board. Stage points for Xfinity and Cup only. Stage points are scored at the beginning of the pre-designated lap. What does that mean? Well, that means if the stage is at lap 40, that means coming to take lap 40. So if you go into the results, what you're going to see is, oh, I passed this person on lap 40. Well, iRacing scores at the completion of a stage. So if the stage is at lap 40, we will actually be using the results for lap 39 as the stage points. We put that in here just because it makes it more transparent. Everybody understands everything, how we do everything. If we waited until the completion of lap 40, it would actually be lap 41 that we are seeing on the broadcast and as race control. One note on that is if there's a caution within 5 laps of the stage, that will be the stage. Stage points will be calculated based on the last scored iRacing green flag lap. So if it's within 5 or less to go, it will be the stage. If it's 6 or more to go, we will race it out to the stage. Playoff system. So we did change everything up a little bit. ARCA and Truck, not much. Top 8 in points will do a flat reset for the final 4 races of the season, and you race it out. Whoever has the most points at the end of those 4 races will be the champion. Race winners during the regular season will get an additional bonus point for the playoffs, as well as the regular season champion will get 5 bonus points at the playoff reset. To qualify for the playoffs, you need to be in the top 8 in points and or be a race winner and complete at least 50% of the season. So potentially we could have 8, 10, 12 playoff drivers as long as they are in the playoffs, top 8 in points, or they have that win and have completed at least 50% of the season. Xfinity and Cup, a little different. We kind of use a standard NASCAR format. It's 4 rounds, 2 races each, except for the championship, which is 1 race. Highest finisher will be the champion of the final race of the season of the 4 drivers who made it to the championship 4. Like I said, the playoff reset has been spelled out and clarified. Check the rule book. You'll see all that in there. All right, so a few other things. We run a fun series on Sunday nights. This is open to all Relentless drivers. It is not broadcasted. Numbers do not matter. Just hop in the session and have fun. All of that information can be found in your fun series channels in this Discord. Sessions open at 8 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes of practice, 5 minutes qualifying, 1 fast repair. We do give 10 minutes of qualifying at road courses. It is a fun series, but the rule book still does apply. We are a little more lenient on comms and that type of stuff. However, don't go out and intentionally wreck people. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. The current fun series is a Gen 6 NASCAR Cup car series. If you haven't raced those, they're a lot of fun. We do have a playoff for this season, and it is the same as the Truck and ARCA series playoffs. So sometimes we'll do a shorter season where it's just points. So we change it up every fun series, but this one we wanted to do a full length Gen 6 fun series just because we feel like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it has been. We're 2 races in, I believe.
Yes.
Driver spotlights. So Xfinity and Cup drivers have the opportunity to participate in our driver spotlight program. Basically, it gives you recognition on our social media. We do up a really nice graphic. And all we ask is that you post a screenshot of your car and fill out the questionnaire so we have the information to post on social media. You can be as vague or as in-depth as you want, but to participate, I do need a screenshot of your car, which you can post in the Xfinity or Cup car screenshot channels, and to fill out that questionnaire. If you haven't checked out our Facebook recently, check that out. You'll kind of see what's all involved with that and what kind of a graphic you'll get. I personally do the graphics. It's come a long way from the start, and it's something for you that gives you recognition. If you have actual sponsors, we will also tag those sponsors in that. So for those of you who actually have legit sponsors, it's a way you can give back, and it literally costs you about 2 minutes to fill out a questionnaire and take a screenshot. So something we like to do. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here. I'm gonna hand it over to the league admins to talk about anything that they want to talk about at this point. Just don't talk over top of each other, is all I ask.
Hello. Tony, did you cover money races?
I went a little bit into it. I didn't go real in depth, but if you want to talk about it, go for it.
I don't want to repeat a bunch of information. I was late. We're gonna start doing some money races. Some people probably saw my announcement about it. I'm not sure when we're gonna start. We kind of want to wait for the season to get rolling and everybody get comfortable about how things work here, especially for all the new guys. Welcome to all y'all. But the way it kind of way it'll work is be historically it's been a $10 entry fee. 5 of those dollars goes to into the pot for the race winners, and then 5 of that goes into the league. That 5 that goes into the league is going to be used to pay for broadcasting and things like that. End of the season awards. Tony makes nice plaques on his laser engraver and stuff, and sends out to the champions and things like that. Nice to have, but it does cost a little money. Um, and then payout will be P1, 2, and 3. I think it's, do my math here. It's 30%, 20%, 10% of the purse, first, second, and third. There'll be a big announcement to sign up. Just go to the PayPal link, which will be in the announcement. Once we see the money come in, we'll add your name to a paid list in a roster in the channel. They're fun, but the rule book is in effect. It is, for money, so it's good to have some little bit of racecraft out there. So, but we usually pick pretty fun, popular track car combos.
Any other admins want to talk about anything?
Titties.
I
Yes.
knew that was coming.
Is that
Yes,
one, or is that the
titties.
first time?
That's the one. Yep.
Titties.
Oh, I'm gonna host a Dega race after this. Trucks. Anybody wants to
No.
join? Shut up, Barkley. You're a fucking fun killer anyway.
Sounds boring as fuck.
Or Barkley.
Barkley's got a small peewee.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So I guess I'm gonna talk a little bit here, kind of the status of the league right now. So some of y'all may not see everything that happens within the league, but I can tell you right now that Cup is almost full. We're 37 of 40 drivers. Xfinity is full. Trucks is full, and ARCA is about half full. We will continue to accept new drivers into ARCA throughout the season. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the league as a whole. Current drivers are, we continue to grow. We continue to put on good racing, and a lot of good things in the works here. We're looking forward to what the future has. That's really all I had there. If any other admins want to chime in, nobody.
You do great, Tony.
Yeah. One thing, just for us admins and our stress levels, with the fields being full, I know trucks are running a little bit longer races this season, and there's time. You don't have to. It's a full field. When shit goes sideways, it goes sideways bad. With 40 cars out there, so just take your time, get around everybody. Looking at you, Davey.
With that being said,
You're always a problem.
For y'all who don't know, the admin team as a whole does not get paid. We actually spend money on this league. Every session that goes up comes out of the admin's pockets. It does not come out of league funds because we don't have the league funds to cover that. This is also not a full-time job for the admins, right? So we request that you take it easy. Remember that we're not gonna be able to do everything. We don't have the time to do it. There's a lot that goes in behind the scenes that you all don't see. Every admin in this series dedicates a lot of time to this league. So just remember that when something happens, if you file a ticket and it doesn't get answered for a couple days, have some patience. We do see it, but we are also busy in real life, and this is kind of something we do on the side.
I'd say if it's for me specifically, if it's not done in like 3 days, ping me because I probably forgot.
Or I'll yell at Matt to do something with it.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Can confirm Matt will get yelled at. Have seen it.
Anything else from the admins?
I got nothing. So
I'm good.
welcome to the league for the newer people in here. If this is their first season running, welcome.
One thing with that is for ARCA and truck, right? You guys are new. You're racing around guys that you haven't raced around before. It's probably going to be pretty hectic for the first few races. Get through it. You'll start learning who you can race around, who you can't race around, who you need to be a little more cautious with, that type of stuff. So just have a little patience. It will clean up every season. It starts off rough, and it's phenomenal racing by the end.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Cup and Xfinity, a lot of these guys have been racing around each other for quite a while, so it's typically not a big deal. Except for Cup last season was pretty rough early on. But,
Yeah, yes.
so that's kind of what we see as an admin team every season over and over. So we want to relay that to you guys and just say, have some patience. You will see it will be rough early, but it will clean up. I would put a lot of money on that fact. All right, so we are going to open it up for questions. We've got a couple in here. Looks like Gib had a question. I think Chad answered that already in the chat. Daniel, you had a question about banners. I'm not too worried about it. I applied the banner to a paint scheme, and the side sponsors are hard to see. Your requirement is to have the banner on. If things don't look very visible, nothing to worry about, right? You did your part. Matt and Barkley are yapping.
Tony, on Gibbs' question, we'll put it on here for the ones that's going to go back and watch it on YouTube.
Yep.
Gibb was asking, what if the appeals team has 4 people on it. What if there's a split decision? When there's appeals come in, whoever's available, the 3 admins that are available the quickest will handle it. The 4th will remain out of it unless they need another set of eyes, and he will be basically give his opinion or his view only, and then the original 3 will make the vote.
All right. So thank you for that. John, regarding the series schedules, would like the schedules to align better out of 20 races, Cup and Xfinity. So, John, we tried that last season, and it really didn't put out a great product, which hurt us sponsorship wise. So, there are going to be changes in the schedule. It is what it is. ARCA and Truck run a completely different format, so it's really hard to even come close to alignments. Otherwise, we have the same type of tracks at the same, during the playoffs, and we try to change that up. We tried it. We tried it with team practice. We don't felt it was really something that was beneficial to the league. I understand what you're saying, but we don't feel it's a good course of action for continuing to get sponsors when everybody's racing at the same track every week. So yeah, Jacob, what you got?
All right, Isaac. I don't know if Isaac's here. He probably make fun of me later on. But for those new drivers and the ones that don't know, me and Isaac Wilson will be the main streamers for SBRN, which are the streamers for Relentless. I will be doing Cup and Trucks, and Isaac will be doing Xfinity and ARCA. Please don't join the broadcast booth whenever we're streaming and just say random stuff. And if you get pulled in for an interview, don't start cursing. Don't start bad-mouthing people. Just keep it PG and nice, please.
That is good information because, like we said, this league is driven by sponsorship, and sponsors don't want to hear a whole bunch of negative things on the broadcast that they're associated with.
It's also a chat too.
Yeah, the
The
chat.
text chat.
Yeah, keep the chat in the broadcast PG. We don't want a whole bunch of drama in there. It's a bad look for the league and for our potential sponsors, and we're trying to keep sponsorship to continue to keep this free. Gary, regarding mid-race interviews, will there be more mid-race interviews this season? And if so, will there be a form people can sign up for them? So, I will not speak for Isaac and Jacob, but I fully expect to have more in-race interviews than last season. With that being said, as far as I'm concerned, if you're in the league and you're in a Discord channel within this league, you are okay with being interviewed during a broadcast. If you're not, then you can DM Isaac and Jacob and tell them that you do not want to be. But as far as I'm concerned, from what we've seen in the past, it's always been the majority have been okay with being interviewed mid-race. So unless it's, I would say instead of signing up, it would be more of a sign up if you don't want to be interviewed. Daniel White, is it acceptable to upload YouTube videos of league races, or would that? Absolutely, as long as it's not something that's gonna be a bad, look on us. You can upload whatever you want. I absolutely we'll never hinder anybody from uploading their own stuff. It's not something that it's not our lane.
Tag us in it, be cool.
You definitely do that. What, Jacob?
I don't know if Jeremy will still do it this season. This past season, he has taken the VODs from Twitch and put them on the YouTube channels. So if you would like to go back and rewatch the stream, it should be on there.
Yeah, so Twitch only saves for a certain amount of time. He does need to do that and keep up on it. If not, he can give me permissions and I'll do it myself. But all the races should be going to the SBRN YouTube channel prior to being removed from Twitch. So
Yeah,
check
I'd
that out.
volunteer to do that too.
I also, every once in a while, I will go through and create a playlist by series, by season in our YouTube channel. So you can kind of, it was this season, the one I want to look at. You can go in there and get that one, or previous season or whatever. I have been a little lax on doing that recently because I, quite honestly, I'm extremely busy with keeping this league running. So I'm a little bit behind on that, but I do try to do that to just kind of organize it a little bit and give you something instead of searching through video after video. You can just go right to the season that you want to look at and find the race you're looking for. We've got a few more typing here. Give them a minute.
Well, while we're waiting, I'm gonna host the trucks at Dega after this meeting. Anyone interested? It'll be under the leagues races.
Boo.
Gary, that you will have to take up with the SBRN folk. I don't have any part of that. Well, we got everybody here and there's some typing going on. Just a heads up, if you race in ARCA, Truck, or Xfinity, you may see some admins racing with you. They will not wreck you or anything like that intentionally. We go out there every once in a while just to race around some of you guys, see how everything's going, see how y'all are racing. You'll probably see that more in ARCA this season just due to the field size in Xfinity and trucks. Some of y'all might have been in the ARCA race on Thursday. You saw me out there. You saw.
You would bring up the one that you
Wow.
won. Huh? Weird flex, bro. Weird flex, bro.
He even posted a fucking picture. You see that shit?
I know.
don't get to do that very often. But anyways, that's not why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up so y'all are aware that we are watching, we are out there, we're seeing how the racing's going. But there was a few of us out there in the Kansas race on Thursday.
That was awesome though.
A lot
That
of
was a
fun
good race.
racing.
Yeah.
Green to checkered, no caution. So don't be alarmed if you see admins out there. We will be identified in the race typically with a 900 number. So you will be able to see on your relative if you have an admin behind you or not. Don't change the way you're racing if you do. Just
No, hell no.
we're,
Just do
we're
your
ner-
thing.
we might come out there and if we feel like you can take it, we might race you a little harder than we would somebody that we don't feel can be raced as hard. If we're racing you hard, take it as a compliment. That means that we see that you can be raced hard, and we might feel you out a little bit, as I'll say it.
Just watch out for Tony and his juke shit.
Yeah, and arrow blocking. All right. One more question from Daniel White about schemes. Is there anything scheme wise that is against the rules or something like that? More thinking of schemes that. So here's what I'll tell you. If you see it on TV, you can run it here. Don't come out there with a Pornhub car or something like that. That's in a broadcasted race. In the Fun Series race, I don't care what you run. You can run Pornhub. You can run. I think Matt runs a Vagisil car all the time.
That's Xfinity.
Whatever. But yeah, just try to keep it professional for the broadcast. Like I said, we rely on the
Family
sponsorship.
friendly.
Yes. Somebody's kid might be watching their dad race or something. They don't want to see a Pornhub and start asking dad, what is Pornhub?
There's a few that will run something on their bumper that might have a bad word or two in it, but it's
You'll never
something
see that on the
that's never
broadcast,
going to be
though.
seen on the broadcast.
Yeah. We're pretty easy to get along with here. We just don't want profanity on broadcasted races.
Can we have nude pictures on our cars?
No. Damn.
Barkley. Sorry, Barkley.
Don't know.
I got pigeons on mine.
Okay.
Towel.
Towley.
Towley.
Old Towley.
His name is Toll.
Or Toll.
Old towel. I like towel.
We had this conversation.
I think totally
He
looks
does
good.
have
Get
a
after him, Tango. Don't put
Okay.
up with their shit.
We got Jacoby.
I think
and
you should
Tony.
church it up a little bit, a little Tole.
All right. Can we have anime girls on our car? As long as they're not nude.
I think Bangor's run a couple of those. Shit.
Yes, he has.
Don't really see my. Oh, Ethan's typing now. I'm sure Ethan's gonna have something.
He already
talk
knows
about
the
here.
answer, whatever he's
No,
gonna
you
have.
cannot run a purple car this year.
No purple.
Yeah, please read the rule book. Purple's been outlawed for drivers of 35.
Or Ethan.
So while Ethan's typing, I will open up the chat here to anybody who wants to ask a question without typing too.
How are people going to be able to move up?
Well,
So many drivers.
next season is going to be limited, but we have things in the works that we will enact when it gets to that point. I'm not going to go into huge detail on that right yet because we haven't had to enact it yet, but it's all kind of, it depends on, we always have drivers that don't come back the following season. Danny, it's all laid out in the rule book under the progression tab. You can check that out on how to move up. But until we have to do something, we're going to stay status quo. You meet the requirements, you have the opportunity to move up, but I will tell you those numbers are probably going to get smaller. We took over 20 drivers to Xfinity this season. Next season, probably not even going to come close to that. All right. If you pass a driver due to trying to avoid an incident, can you return the position immediately? Absolutely. And in all honesty, if somebody missed a shift and you have to avoid them and you pass them, so be it. The rule is no passing on until after the start finish line. But if something happens in front of you and you have to make an avoidance maneuver, you're good.
Evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, if you're avoiding an accident, we would much rather you avoid an accident than there be an accident.
Yep. Yeah, we're not gonna fault you for doing that. Ethan, ever since then,
I mean,
whenever it was
I
brought
swear,
up,
he brings this motherfucker up. Ethan, I see you,
He wants to
motherfucker.
promote his OnlyFans now. He's about to turn 18, Matt.
he is 18.
Oh.
Ethan, I don't care if it says OnlyFans on it, as
Motherfucker
long as it
sounds like
doesn't
he's
have nude
35.
pictures on it.
Yeah, no nudity and like vulgar is probably the best.
That's a very good summarization.
New brow. That's an interesting one.
It has been a
It's been-
topic
it's
of
been talked
discussion,
about.
Yeah, we've discussed the choose cone quite a bit.
and we're not ready to test that yet. The league has not shown the capability of throwing that into the mix.
We still have people asking about the restart zone every race.
Daniel, if you like the team you're a part of and they want to
Yeah.
keep you, can you move up with the same team? Well, that's a situational.
As long as they like
question.
you, I guess.
So if they have an opening on their team in the next series up and they want to bring you onto that team, as long as you meet the requirements and you're approved to move up, absolutely. It's not a question that I can give you a direct answer to because it's a very broad question.
All availability based.
Yep.
I think Matt just said he didn't like me.
That's what I heard.
That's why you're not on North South anymore.
Yeah.
The fuck, man.
But
You're honorary. You OG North
Yeah.
South.
Oh, gee.
the team aspect and the progression aspect are two separate things. I will tell you, if you meet the requirements for progression, you can move up. If that team wants to keep you on their team, that's their option. If they don't want to keep you or you don't want to be part of that team, you don't have to be on that team. It's kind of just two separate things, and it's all going to be situational, right? I can't say, oh, I'm on their team and they have a spot in Xfinity, but I haven't met the requirements. No, you can't move up. Or you haven't been approved, or there's only 3 spots. There's no guarantee that you're going to move up, right? Everything's going to be fluid. It's going to be situational dependent. Any other questions? I don't see anybody typing, so I'm going to call that or say that's a no. That is all I have. For you new guys, welcome to the league. For you returning guys, good luck this season. Let's try to keep this drama free. Let's have a good, clean season of racing and have some fun.